Late night bites with friends? Already hard to beat. That first too hot bite of fries you couldn't wait for, followed by ice-cold Pepsi. Now that hits different. Suddenly, the energy kicks back in, the night goes longer, and the laughs don't stop. Because Pepsi brings out more flavor, more fun, and more of the moment. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
I see you.
Avatar: Fire and Ash is now streaming on Disney+. It's the film critics are calling the best Avatar yet.
Yeah! Go, 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 go!
A true epic and completely jaw-dropping.
This is the only pure thing in this world.
Return to Pandora on Disney+.
It will be an adventure for the whole family.
And watch the Oscar-winning phenomenon at home.
This is sick!
Avatar: Fire and Ash, now streaming on Disney+. Rated PG-13.
Welcome back to Supernatural Japan. I'm Kevin O'Shea. If you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you may remember an episode in February of 2025 and replayed again earlier this summer when I spoke to Hibagon researcher Todd Brink about one of Japan's most mysterious and elusive creatures. Well, I'm very happy to say that Todd is back. Since our last conversation, the search for Hibagon has continued, and Todd has been back in the field following reports, examining evidence, and talking to people connected to the legend, and continuing to investigate the possibility that something very unusual may still be hiding in the mountains of Hiroshima. For those of you who are new to Supernatural Japan, Hibagon is often described as Japan's answer to Bigfoot. But you'll soon hear in this conversation that comparison only tells part of the story. So before we get into my conversation with Todd, let's take a few minutes to look at exactly what Hibagon is, where the legend came from, and why this strange creature has remained one of Japan's most fascinating cryptozoological mysteries for more than half a century. The Hibagon is a mysterious ape-like creature reportedly associated with the forests and mountains around Mount Hiba and surrounding mountains in Hiroshima Prefecture. The creature is generally described as standing somewhere around 5 feet tall, walking on 2 legs, and having a body covered in dark or reddish-brown hair. Witness descriptions have also mentioned a distinctive face, large eyes, and somewhat gorilla-like appearance. But Hibagon simply isn't a Japanese version of Bigfoot. The modern Hibagon mystery really exploded in 1970. On July 20th of that year, a truck driver reported seeing a strange ape-like creature near the foothills of Mount Hiba, and other sightings followed, including reports by local residents. By August and September, the story had become significant enough to attract newspaper coverage and widespread attention. The Hiroshima Prefectural Library has documented several of the early Chukoku Shimbun reports, including articles from August and September 1970 describing a mysterious ape that was sighted around Mount Hiba. And these weren't simply stories appearing decades later in books or the internet. People were reporting encounters with something they couldn't identify at the time. The sightings continued, and the mystery around the big local phenomenon, such a big local phenomenon that the government of Saijo Town established a special office to deal with the reports of the creature, essentially a Hibagon department. Eventually, the creature received the name Hibagon, derived from Mount Hiba. And just like Bigfoot in North America, Hibagon has become much more than a collection of strange sightings. It has become part of the identity and folklore of the region. Today you can find Hibagon characters, souvenirs, and references to the creature throughout the area and around Shobara. But underneath the cute mascot and the tourism industry is a much stranger story, because there are people who believe that the original sightings weren't simply misidentified bears, monkeys, or people walking through the forest. They believe that something was actually out there. And that's where Todd Brink comes in. Todd has spent years investigating Hibagon and trying to separate the mythology from the actual reports and evidence. When we last spoke in 2025, we talked about the history of the sightings, his research, and his book, his experiences in the mountains, and the evidence he has uncovered. This time, we're picking up where the conversation left off. What has Todd discovered since our last interview? Have there been new reports? Has he found anything that changes his opinion about what Hibagon might be? And after all this time, is it possible that Japan's most famous cryptid could still be hiding somewhere in those mountains? Let's find out. Supernatural Japan listeners, we are back with a long-awaited episode, an update, the return of Mr. Kyle Brink, who you may remember from one of the earlier episodes of Supernatural Japan. He is a Canadian writer and researcher based in the southern part of Honshu and Hiroshima Prefecture. And we had him on to tell us all about Hibagon, which many people may know as, and I'll say in kind of air quotes, Japan's Bigfoot. It's been a long time. Kyle, thanks for coming back on the show.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. It's been a hot minute. And yeah, just before we started recording, as I mentioned, a lot of people have been reaching out to me and saying, hey, let's get some updates. Let's get that guy back on. We want to know more about Hibagon. So maybe just for anyone who might be new to the podcast, I was wondering if you could just maybe give a brief introduction to who you are. And of course, and I will also mention, everyone, you can go back and listen to that other episode with Kyle about Hibagon. I will put a link in the show notes. But yeah, could you just let the listeners know a little bit about yourself and where exactly you are in Japan?
Okay, I'm down in Hiroshima Prefecture in the city of Fukuyama. And that's about a 2-hour drive south of Mount Hiba. Mount Hiba, of course, is where Hibagon gets its name. Hibagon means Hiba monster. From Mount Hiba.
Nice.
Now, Japan has a long history of sightings of these creatures all over the archipelago, and they go by various names. So they've been called Ohito, big people, Yamabito, mountain people. They've been called Satori, which means consciousness. Because people see them as a conscious creature.
Okay, yeah.
And it's said that they can read your consciousness.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's said we hear this too about Sasquatch in the States too, right? They can read your mind. So the old literature says if you have a pure heart, you don't have anything to fear from these creatures. They can read your heart. But if you have evil designs, they will know that, and you better watch out.
Oh, nice. No, so there you go, everyone. Watch out, especially if you have those evil designs and you're going to Japan. But what I'm curious about now, what you've mentioned already. So of course we talked before, and you mentioned how, of course, or we discussed Hibagon. So this creature that lives in this part of Japan. But what other parts of Japan do the folklore say, or do people in the past say they've seen similar creatures? Is it throughout Japan, throughout Honshu, Hokkaido? Where else?
No, the sightings are pretty clustered. Well, of course, around this area, Mount Hiba, Hiroshima, Chugoku region. Mm-hmm. There's another cluster up around Niigata and Guma. There's another cluster in Nara Prefecture.
Okay.
And, well, oddly or not, these are all places where there are incredibly high rates of missing people.
Oh, okay. The
Hibagon Satori mountain monster clusters perfectly coincide with these insanely high rates of missing people. That's according to the. I get the missing people data from the National Police Agency.
Okay.
It's the National Police numbers. All the missing people are not going missing from the big cities.
Okay.
They're going missing in the countryside, especially in these places where they have these monster sightings. And the police have five weight classifications for victims.
Okay,
they go from very skinny to skinny, to average to fat, to obese.
All right.
Okay. All of the missing people are in the first three classifications.
Okay, so they're
large,
thin.
Yeah, small, thin, portable.
Small, thin people. This kind of the first thing that jumps into my mind when you mention this is like the missing 411, the David Paulides kind of stories of, and I've watched a few of those documentaries. I watched one, I think his first one, I watched the one about hunters, missing hunters. And I've heard him on like the Joe Rogan Experience and different other podcasts talking about the concept of all these mysterious, okay. So there's kind of it seems to be almost a similar type of thing potentially happening in Japan.
Very similar phenomenon. Yeah. And, the first three classifications, very thin, very skinny, and average, these people go missing. But people on the heavier side, like me, don't seem to go missing so much.
Oh, that means I'm safe then too.
Well, yeah, lucky for us.
Yeah. I mean, my doctors have been telling me I need to change that and maybe fall into one of those first three categories. But hey, if it's going to keep me safe, pass the chips.
Yeah, in some ways it could prolong your life.
Yeah. So now are these, I know this is something I haven't heard of before in Japan. So are these are cases of people who are missing, who have not been found, literally people who have vanished, like while hiking, while camping, these like doing outdoor activity type things?
That's right. They disappear from the mountains.
Okay.
And I've traced dozens of these cases. And it's just incredible. I think they have to be Hibagon related. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. That's a little dark.
So I guess, like one of the things I wanted to talk about, I mean, just to start things off where like, it's been a long time since we talked. So I'm sure you've been busy and doing your research on the ground, finding things out, doing, not just internet sleuthing, but being out there in the world. So what things have you been up to since we've last spoken?
Okay, I was trying to think about that, and you can tell me, do you remember the last time we spoke, was I talking about discovering the lost tomb of the mother goddess of Japan?
No, you had not mentioned anything about that. We had a little bit of correspondence back and forth on Facebook Messenger, and you had mentioned something about tombs and kofun and things like that, and that's nothing we didn't talk about anything like that in our first interview. So that's all new for me. Okay. And the listeners.
Well, that might be an hour in itself, so we better not get too much into that. But
we can dip our toes.
Okay. Here's a little dip. Hibagon territory overlaps amazingly well with prehistoric megalithic tombs. Okay. They just seem to be in the same areas. Now, Mount Hiba itself it's recorded in the oldest Japanese surviving text called the Kojiki. Anybody can look this up. It's the Kojiki.
Yeah, I've heard of this, definitely.
Okay, the Kojiki is like it's the book of Japanese mythology. And it starts off with the creation myth with the first man and woman. Their names are Izanami and Izanagi. They're like the Japanese Adam and Eve. Okay, the whole story, the whole scene in all of Japan takes place, guess where?
Nara? I don't know. Is it Nara?
No.
Is it Hiroshima? Well, Mount Hiba? I don't know.
Exactly, Mount Hiba.
Okay. Wow.
Where the Hibagon is supposed to come from. The whole story, their life, the birth of the gods and the death of the mother goddess, it all happens on Mount Hiba. Now, on the very top of Mount Hiba, there is a tomb, the tomb of the mother goddess, and thousands of tourists go there every year. But I made the discovery that is not a tomb. It's not even a tomb, Kevin. Okay. There's no connection to a tomb. Well, there is a connection, but it's not a tomb. It's a signpost that points to the actual tomb.
Okay. So
I put the pieces together. Yes, it's related to the tomb, but it's not at all a tomb. It's a sign pointing to the tomb. So I put the pieces together, and I found the actual lost tomb of the mother goddess of Japan.
And where is that? Is that like far away from there? Or is it nearby? Like on an adjacent mountain or something?
It's nearby. And the traditional tomb points straight at it. And other things point straight at it too. Anyway, I was up to that. And then last year, an American Sasquatch researcher came here.
Okay.
She'd read my book. She was very impressed. And she asked if she could come here and look with me. So I invited her. She stayed at my house for 2 weeks, Kevin.
Oh, wow. Okay. Nice.
And we were out in the field every day. Now, this I won't tell you her name because she hasn't come public yet, but she is in law enforcement. She's an animal expert.
Okay.
I can tell you she's on the west coast of the United States. And you probably don't know her name, but you would know the names of people that she has worked with.
Okay. Well, I mean, I do listen to Bigfoot and Beyond every episode. So I guess I hear a lot of names that are within the community that are shared around. Okay, wow, that's interesting. So she spent 2 weeks you were out every day in the field. Wow. So So tell me about that.
Okay, so in order to be as unbiased as possible and as scientific as possible, we decided to both use the Christopher Noel Field Guide to Sasquatch Structures as our text, as our field book, our field guide. And we decided the book has 50 structures, and we thought, how many of these structures can we find in 2 weeks? So
just for the sake of the listeners, and this is even something I'd never heard of until just maybe a few years ago when I was watching maybe some Les Stroud videos, Survivor Man, and he was talking about structures. What are Sasquatch structures? Just for those who may not be in the know.
Okay, so Sasquatch build these timber structures in the forest. They uproot trees or snap off trees and carry them around, transport them to areas, and put them together. They assemble these structures. And they have some very common high-frequency structures that they just tend to make wherever. Other times they're more unique and artistic. But Christopher Noel collected 50 common types and put them together in this book called The Field Guide. And you can get it on Amazon, and I recommend it to anybody who's interested. One, because it'll help you. Once you see these in the field guide, then the structures really pop out at you in the forest.
Okay.
It helps to give you a sense for what to look for. That's one thing. And the second thing is it gives researchers a common vocabulary. My friend from the United States and I, here in Japan, we can talk about the same structures using the same language. And we're looking for the same things.
Okay. So does
that help?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So you had these field guides, and you went into the field, like around the area around Mount Hiba, and what did you find?
Okay, of the 50 types in the book, we found dozens and dozens and dozens of individual structures. But of the 50 types we found, 48 we found 48 types.
Okay.
And of many types, many examples. And this, I'll have to give away her state. She's in Oregon.
Well, that's Bigfoot country. Everyone knows that, right? That's Washington,
Bigfoot
Oregon.
Central.
Yeah, exactly.
That's Bigfoot Central. And she goes researching every week, and she's found a lot. But she told me she never found as many as the number of structures and as many various kinds of structures as we found here in Hiroshima.
Wow. So the thing that's jumping into my mind that I find very curious or interesting is the fact or the concept that a creature that, for example, would inhabit North America or the forests of the Pacific Northwest would be and build certain structures. This creature all the way over in Japan across the Pacific Ocean would be building something similar. That seems very interesting.
Yeah. She confirms, and of course I've never seen these things in North America, but she has now seen both on both continents, and she confirms that we must be dealing with the same creature because it's building the same identical structures that we see in the field guide. It's like, Kevin, I know there are no beavers here in Japan. Mm-hmm. I'm Canadian.
Yeah.
So I know beavers, I know beaver dams, I know beaver lodges.
Yeah.
If I'm hiking around in Hiroshima and I find a beaver dam,
you know what that is.
that changes my mind. I guess there is at least one beaver here.
Yeah.
Maybe an escape from the zoo. So these structures are really, really good evidence that we are dealing with the same creature. And they seem to have this innate, instinctive.
Well, again, the beaver's a great example, right? Beavers in Europe, beavers in North America. I mean, a beaver's a beaver. They're just born instinctually. They're just made to build, and they know how to build. They know how to build a lodge. They know how to have the chamber in the bottom so they can come up, and they know how to. It's just something that's hardwired into their DNA.
That's right. And tribal, primitive humans all around the world who had no communication, no contact with each other. They draw the same patterns in their, they love making X's and circles and wavy lines. And it goes across all cultures. And the Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Hibagon, whether they're a kind of people or a kind of animal, I don't know. But they seem to have the same instinct to create.
Interesting. Wow.
The perfect lunch combo. That first bite of your favorite sub, followed by ice-cold Pepsi. Add a couple of friends, and now that's next level. Suddenly, the laughs get louder, the stories keep flowing, and the food tastes better. Because Pepsi brings out more flavor, more fun, and more of the moment. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
I'm not giving up.
I am selling the building.
The final season of FX's The Bear.
The restaurant is flooded.
Everything's either going to be okay.
No, stop.
Or not.
We are outgunned and we are outmanned, but we have each other.
FX's The Bear, the final season. All episodes now streaming on Disney+.
So I'm curious about the kofun. Back to the kofun or the tombs. You mentioned you've potentially have a theory or you have an idea that maybe there's some kind of connection between Hibagon and these kofun. You said we're in different parts of Japan where there tend to be kofun or the tombs, and like Nara is a fine example. I was just in a few weeks ago. I was in Asuka in Nara with a friend of the show, Philip Jackson. You know Philip, and he's up in Kyoto. And my son, and we went out to the rock ship of Masuda Iwafune, because that's something I've always wanted to see. It was really incredible. It did not let down. But I know in that whole area, there's a lot of kofun and very mysterious places. And actually, after I had left and I'd posted about it on Instagram, some listeners of the podcast reached out to me. We're like, dang, we didn't know you were in Nara. If we knew you were here, one person was like, I could have shown you all these really, really interesting like tombs and kind of bizarre, mysterious places and things. So what kind of connection have you been formulating or theorizing?
Well, I don't know what the connection is. I just know that I find kofun and Hibagon evidence in the same areas.
Okay.
So Kofun, just for your listeners, Kofun, Kofun, means megalithic tomb. And they're lumped together. There's two kinds here in Japan. One is the enormous, many acres covering keyhole-shaped tomb mounds.
Yeah.
Okay, those are historical. I mean, they were made in historical times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about what in English we would call a tumulus, Tumulus, and we find them all over the world, all the way from Japan, all the way over to Ireland, and the same basic design, and they are prehistoric. Now, outside of Japan, the archaeologists date them to 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 years old. Only here, they're dated to like 700 AD, which I think is ridiculous. And they're just lumping in all of these megalithic tombs with the gigantic royal keyhole tombs like you find in Osaka.
Yeah.
And I think that's there's no basis for that. So these smaller, still gigantic stones, megalithic tombs, I find them. I discovered one this year. Let me tell you about this mountain. Okay, the name of the mountain. And if your listeners want to find out where it is, you can go on Google Maps, go to Fukuyama City, Hiroshima, and in the search box where you refine the search, put in Jaenzan. And that you'll spell that Jaensan. It's a mountain in the north part of this city.
Okay.
Now, I got interested in that mountain because of a legend. And this is the legend that a peasant was traveling over the mountain and he disappeared. He didn't show up where he was going. So the villagers searched for him and they found him. They found him near the top of the mountain, dead, and his abdomen was ripped open.
Oh.
Abdomen ripped open, and the contents of his last meal and his guts were strewn all about him. Now, the villagers knew that this was an unnatural, you might say supernatural event. Okay, so they knew that there are no natural predators that kill this way. So they chalked it up as being an oni.
Okay, yeah.
An oni, a demon or devil, that killed this guy to get at the contents of his stomach. Well, I have long believed that the oni is the supernatural alter ego of the very real Hibagon. What we would call Bigfoot, it's been supernaturalized into this mountain devil, mountain demon oni. Right? They're both bipedal, they're both gigantic, they're both hairy, they're both scary.
So that could have potentially been kind of for historic peoples their kind of explanation for what if they saw something, like a Hibagon, they saw that kind of Bigfoot creature in the forest, that would have been the explanation. It was some kind of supernatural monster that was
exactly
okay.
Exactly right. Well, okay, this method of killing and ripping open the abdomen to get at the guts, it doesn't match any natural predation style here in Japan, but it does match chimpanzee predation. So chimpanzees grab their prey, they kill it, and they rip open the abdomen and eat the guts and the soft bits, the lungs, the liver. This is their favorite food. And they give the muscle meat, which we like, they give it to the females and the young. Lower down the ladder.
Okay.
Okay. So now I'm thinking, okay, we have it reported to be a killer Oni on this mountain. And he's killing in this chimpanzee primate type style. And although this is hundreds of years ago, maybe I better just go and stick my nose in and see if there's any Hibagon there now. If I could find traces of Hibagon structures, etc., on this mountain, that would kind of add to the evidence pile.
Interesting.
Okay.
So did you head out to that mountain?
Yeah, I went there with the American Sasquatch researcher. We found tons of stuff there. This mountain is still very rich in structures.
What kind of things did you find?
Okay, crazy things like tons and tons of trees ripped out of the ground at the root and all laid up on ancient stone walls with the root base on top of the wall and just lined up parallel, like too many to count. Somebody has been really, really busy snapping off trees at the base and propping them up with the base end on top of these ancient stone walls in parallel sequences.
That's strange.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we look for, and we do not find any kind of mechanical cuts. There's no blades being used. You can't get heavy equipment into this area anyway. You walk in from the road, you hike up in there. It's totally nuts. Now, I've heard someone had the theory that Sasquatch in North America, some of these structures might be for cultivating mushrooms.
Okay. Huh.
Now, my sister-in-law does this. She's a farmer.
Yeah.
And she takes rotten logs and props them up. She seeds them with the mushroom spores and puts them in shady groves and harvests these mushrooms. She sells them. So something that we do could very well be something that they're doing as a source of, a stable food supply.
So potentially
that's just one thought.
One theory, yeah. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I thought when I saw these dozens and dozens and dozens of trees propped up on this old stone wall. But let me tell you what I found this spring on this same mountain.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, my younger daughter and I are climbing around off trail. Always go off trail because that's where you find things.
Okay.
We found the carcass of a wild pig, a wild boar. Now, this thing was not dead very long. It was torn in half.
Oh, really?
It was bisected. Around, if you feel around your back, just below your ribs, okay, right there, the spine was broken. We found the front half of the pig 20 feet away from the back half of the pig. Okay, we sat down, we studied this thing. Again, we could not find any teeth marks. We could not find any knife marks.
Any bear tracks around there? Because, a bear might be the only thing that could take down a wild boar would be a bear, right?
Well, if you're not discounting for Hibagon, yes.
Well, yeah. If you think with a more of the traditional wildlife in Japan. When I think of like, there's no wolves, and there's been a lot of arguments about amongst naturalists about potentially ideally bringing back Japanese wolves because the deer populations are going crazy across Japan. Because they've got no predators really. But I know in essentially like on Honshu where you are, the biggest natural predator that mainstream predator that we know of would be the black bear. And then I mean we
do have Asiatic black bears, that's true.
Yeah, but the Inoshishi, the wild boar, I mean those are big animals. They're big, nasty, grumpy, surly animals. So it would be pretty impressive for something to be able to take down one of those critters.
Oh, it would be a thing to see.
Yeah.
Now, okay, let me tell you about this carcass. First of all, the jaw was broken.
Okay.
The jaw was broken by being pried apart. Okay, so the bottom jaw was just bent back beyond the breaking point. Something opened this pig's mouth so wide that it broke the bottom jaw.
Wow.
If an animal dies, it putrefies, right?
Yeah, of course.
And a lot of it liquefies, and you get this oily kind of sludge coming out underneath and around the body. Nothing like that, Kevin. The earth was pristine.
Okay.
It was clean. So I think whatever killed this pig slurped up the juices and the soft bits on the spot.
Okay, interesting.
Okay, leaving not much to putrefy.
So did it have that? An animal that large would. I was living in Malaysia for a few years, and it was pretty common to, from time to time, come across a dead giant monitor lizard. Those critters are massive, and you'd just find one dead in a drainage ditch, but you'd smell it. You'd smell it 200 meters before you'd ever see it. It was just like the worst. And then when you'd see it, it would be like liquefying and putrefying, and and it was just like, I can remember sometimes it'd die on my walk from my home to my school where I teach. It was just, oh God, it was the worst thing ever having to walk down that road, So did it have that kind of smell as well?
No smell. You could we put our noses right up against this thing to look for, knife or tooth marks. After this thing had been killed, the soft and the wet and the bloody bits, I think, had been devoured so completely that the rest of it just desiccated.
Wow.
There was no putrefaction.
Interesting. Wow.
I think, this is what I imagine, 2 Hibagon took this thing down, broke its back, ripped it in 2, and then sat down 20 feet apart from each other, each with his half of the pig. But that's not the end.
Okay.
This pig, the rear half, had 1 leg attached. But the other 3 legs were missing.
Oh, really? Okay.
They were ripped off and gone.
They just weren't anywhere around. Okay.
Nowhere around. And we looked around. We circled around this thing. Gone. So I think 2 brothers, or maybe a father and a son, are hunting together. They catch this pig. They rip it open. Okay? Which is, of course, you're ripping a pig in half. What does it look like? It looks like the disemboweled peasant. They ripped open its abdomen. Well, they each take a half. They feast on its guts and offal. And then when they're done, what do? They rip off 3 legs, probably for mama and 2 sisters at home in the cave.
Wow. Wow, that's something else. That's Oh, wow.
That's a picture, isn't it?
Yeah, that's just a poor old piggy. Oh my gosh! But I mean, again, I mean, like I said, I know a wild boar. With my time in Kobe, the at nighttime at dusk, the wild boars would sometimes come around nosing through garbage. But those things are, double the size of a golden retriever. They're huge animals. They're big things.
They're scary.
Yeah,
One of them killed a hunter here a few years ago.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. And they're aggressive, very aggressive too, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they get those big tusks. Wow, that's an interesting piece of evidence then, absolutely.
Right? So to find a ripped open, disemboweled pig on the same mountain with a disemboweled peasant. What are the odds of that? Anyway, while I was coming out of that area, I found a group of boulders on a hillside that just looked kind of unnatural. So I go over to them, and what I noticed is they're flat. They have flat surfaces that are all kind of pointed the same way.
Okay.
Which might be nothing or could be something. So I take my compass and I put it on kind of the most prominent flat boulder. And what do you think my compass reads?
I'm going to guess was it just kind of spinning around or something wildly?
No, exactly 180 degrees due south.
Okay.
So I go to another boulder and test that surface. Same reading. I go to another boulder, test that surface. Exactly the same reading. Like, not off by 3 degrees. And that's important because many of these kofun that we find that are proven to be kofun, you can climb in them and explore them. The doorway, the original doorway, faces 180 degrees south, due south.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's part of the design of the tomb. So that was cool to find this unknown, unnamed, unsuspected, uncovered, unopened kofun.
Wow. That is interesting. Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of interesting things happening on that mountain.
Oh, I could spend a lot of time just exploring this one mountain.
Okay.
And again, for your listeners, that's Jaensan, Jaensan in Fukuyama. Crazy mountain. Another thing, another legend, and this is a very recent one. This is about 50 years old. There was a farmer, and he was driving his truck on this mountain. We're lucky this mountain has a road going over it because they put utilities on this mountain.
Okay, I'm looking at it right now on my Google Maps. Okay, I can see there's roads, a road across the top of it. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, a farmer's trying to cross the mountain. He stops because the road is blocked. Looks like there's a tree down across the road, which sometimes happens here. So he gets out to inspect the tree. Turns out it's not a tree. It's a gigantic serpent crossing the road, and it's just kind of stopped there.
Okay.
Like a colossal, monstrous, gigantic serpent. Like he might mistake it for a tree. And the name of the mountain, Jaen, it means coiled serpent. Okay, well, that set off alarms in my head because the manager of the prefectural forest at Mount Hiba, okay, going back to Mount Hiba, the manager of the prefectural forest is an acquaintance of mine. And his uncle was one of the original eyewitnesses of Hibagon back in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
Now, this guy knows Mount Hiba very well, and he likes to camp out on one area called Ryozan, and he confided in me. He likes to go there because he finds examples of giantism in animals there. He says, this is his story, he says he finds giant rabbits. And he mentioned specifically giant snakes.
Okay.
So he believes there's, again, this is his language, he believes it's a kind of a power spot that gives power to all the animals there, including Hibagon. He thinks there's an association. And I can tell you, in the same area, there are gigantic trees.
Okay. Like old growth trees?
Yeah, like huge, gigantic trees. And I've never seen any giant animals, but I'll take him at his word.
I'm curious. So, he's someone you mentioned as kind of like a forestry manager who is in that area. I'm curious, like, what kind of, what's the temperature like with the regular everyday average Japanese person who lives in Saijo or lives in that area? Is this something that most people believe in, don't believe in, talk about, don't talk about? Is it a hush hush thing? Because I know that you see it when you Google. For those who out there, when you Google Hibagon, the first things that pop up are there's signs like when you enter some of the communities, kind of celebrating. Look, and some of them are cute. Like there's a cute Hibagon. A friend of mine a few years ago sent me a photo of a bus in downtown Hiroshima city that for the Hiroshima Carp, and it had like Hibagon, with a baseball bat hit the ball. And he also sent me he picked up. So there's a friend of mine who lives in Shimane Prefecture. He had a can of Hibagon beer. A local brewery was making Hibagon beer. So I'm curious, is it something that like the older generations or middle-aged people, younger people believe in?
No, almost nobody believes in it. They've turned it into a cartoon, as you say. They've made it a joke, and it's hard to find anybody who actually believes in it.
Okay.
And most people that I've met who do believe in it, they're too shy and too scared to talk about it.
Okay.
Because they get ridiculed.
Yeah.
And in Japan is very, very conformist. Nobody likes to stick out and be the weird guy here. So no, it's a very suppressed topic at all levels. All levels.
Okay.
My family found handprints and footprints in the snow on Mount Hiba.
Okay.
Confirmed, verified by a French veterinarian that I sent them to be primate unknown type.
Okay.
Okay? Enormous prints. The fingers were like kielbasa sausages. And the hand from what would be, the heel of the hand to the fingertips, twice as long and twice as big as my hands. Just enormous. I called the local, we have a regional newspaper, the Chukoku Shimbun.
Okay.
And the reporter was really into this story. She spent 2 days with me.
Okay, wow.
Getting all the details, taking all the notes, asking all the questions. She was really excited. And after 2 days, she said, Kyle, we have a great story here. Thank you so much. This is going to... Her editor killed it.
Oh, okay.
So there seems to be a real disconnect from the ground where the little guy. Some people might be interested, but that's why we don't hear about any sightings anymore. Because 50 years ago, Saijo Town opened, as you know, opened the ape department, and the ape department was in charge of receiving sightings. And
that's right. I remember reading about this. Yeah. There's
right?
actually a municipal worker. There was an actual municipal staff member who was in charge of recording sightings and taking like a Hibagon hotline almost.
Yeah, Mr. Eggy, my friend. He's now like 85. He's still kind of a tour guide. He'll take you to where the Hibagon sightings were.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
He handled all of the sightings. He knows everything. But the city closed the department and stopped taking reports. So the city, also this newspaper, they will not receive reports, and that's why we don't have reports these days of sightings. It's being stifled, I believe, on purpose.
I think people maybe potentially they look at it as bad, negative publicity. It would harm tourism, or I guess, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know who or why, but it does seem to be a concerted policy. Like, we're done with Hibagon. It's not a topic anymore.
Oh, okay, yeah, interesting. Because one thing that was in my mind, I was curious, like if this was something how, like, when you hear about like what goes on in the United States, for example, how there's like these Bigfoot conferences, they have throughout the U.S. where people like the guys from Finding Bigfoot would go and do presentations, or Seth Breedlove from Small Town Monsters, or or even in Japan. There's the Tsuchinoko, the cryptid snake, and there's a big festival every year they have where they have a $10,000 reward if you can find the Tsuchinoko, and then they have. I was watching a news story, a Japanese news story, just because I did an episode on Tsuchinoko, and it looked great. It was like the festival. It was a weekend long. I'm like, oh, I'd love to go to this. They had like concerts and food, and them all going out to find Tsuchinoko and kind of stuff like that. But it's like they really embrace it. No one's found one yet, but you know what I mean. That's what I was curious about. If in that area, because again, I mean, I'm just when you do an English Google search, you'll see street signs showing this is kind of like the home of Hibagon and stuff. So I was wondering if it was something that was kind of embraced, but it sounds like that cutesy aspect is maybe in that way for the sake of tourism. Like, here's some omiyage, Hibagon omiyage, and here's a beer. But let's not actually talk about it.
The perfect lunch combo. That first bite of your favorite sub, followed by ice-cold Pepsi. Add a couple of friends, and now that's next level. Suddenly, the laughs get louder, the stories keep flowing, and the food tastes better. Because Pepsi brings out more flavor, more fun, and more of the moment. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
I see you.
Avatar: Fire and Ash is now streaming on Disney+. It's the film critics are calling the best Avatar yet.
Yeah! Go, 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 go!
A true epic and completely jaw-dropping.
This is the only pure thing in this world.
Return to Pandora on Disney+.
It will be an adventure for the whole family.
And watch the Oscar-winning phenomenon at home.
This is sick!
Avatar: Fire and Ash, now streaming on Disney+. Rated PG-13.
Yeah, exactly. It's just been kind of put into this cartoon ghetto, and there's no serious talk about it.
Okay.
Although, there is a woman who works for the town, and she is in charge of Hibagon affairs.
Okay.
And she told me that there have been several sightings recently. Now, because of privacy laws, she's not allowed to tell me anymore.
Oh, okay.
But locals there have recently been reporting sightings to her. Mm-hmm. And she has been visiting the people's homes and the sites. But she's not allowed to tell me anymore. Although she wants to, she can't.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So well, that's that too.
Well, that's what another thing I'm wondering is, of course, you were just mentioning earlier on in the podcast how you had a researcher from the United States came in and spent a few weeks with you. Are there any other, Hibagon researchers in Japan right now, active or not active? I mean, like, are there Japanese, foreign? No, you're shaking your head. No, he's shaking his head. No, folks. Okay.
No,
really interesting.
It's the loneliest profession in the world, Kevin. I'm dying of loneliness here.
Hear that, folks? Kyle needs some help. Because I know there's people out there who would be definitely interested in this. I mean, because over the, I'm sure there would be, as I try to get the word out, here with the Supernatural Japan podcast, maybe some people listening to this, because if there's one thing that we know in recent years, there's been a heck of a lot more foreign visitors, inbound tourists coming to Japan. So maybe if they're an inbound tourist, an inbound visitor who has an interest in things Sasquatch, maybe they'll be able to reach out to you and connect with you. That would be something.
Look me up. I'll take them out.
Yeah. So that's
the Oregon. I'm sorry, the Oregon Sasquatch researcher who was here for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. She said, "Kyle, I envy you. Your research area is so much richer than mine in Oregon." She found structure types here, multiple specimens that she's never even found in Oregon.
Oh wow, okay. Well, you said 48 out of 50. You found it from the field guide.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real hotspot. Just last week, I went. Recently, I've gotten into gold panning.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because you emailed me about that just a couple of nights ago. So yeah, tell me about this and the prints potentially.
Okay, we found a really great gold panning spot on this river in this city of Fukuyama. It's in the northern part of the city.
Okay.
So I went up there last week by myself to do a little gold panning and exploring. I'm down in this river. And I got up there early to beat the traffic because I'm just on a Super Cub Honda scooter.
Nice. Yeah.
It's not great in the rush hour.
Little 50cc jobby.
Yes. I'm down in the river. It's like 8 a.m. And I find this. Hibagon is not in my mind, Kevin. I'm focused on looking for gold. I find a Hibagon track in the sand bank of the river.
Okay.
Now it's a single footprint. And this is the situation. The river, one side of the river, it has a concrete wall. And on top of the wall is the road. Okay. This wall is about 10 feet high, I'm guessing. And this single footprint is perpendicular to the wall and the road.
Okay.
It looks to me, reading the print, it looks to me like somebody jumped down from the road.
Okay, yeah. Onto the riverbank.
Landed. Now, the 1 foot they landed on, it slid against a boulder. Sand was piled up against a boulder, so it looked like solid ground, but it wasn't. And his heel hit the edge of the boulder and slid down, making kind of a mess. But then he planted his foot firmly again, and that gave this print, which I sent you the photos of.
Yeah.
Way bigger than my foot in my hiking boot. I didn't have a tape measure. I'm going to guess 20 inches long. Double the width of my Triple E hiking boot.
Yeah, it's pretty big. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, and I could see also that what it looks like where it slid. You can see that too.
You can see it scrape the boulder.
Yeah.
And look at the depth of it.
Yeah, it's something heavy.
Now, in the top right corner of one of those photos is my own boot print.
Mm-hmm.
If you compare the depths, I mean, this thing was heavy. And I'm heavy, but this thing was heavy. So that was just last week in the outskirts of Fukuyama City. And the print was fresh. You can see around the print, the rocks on the bank are dry. But this thing, the soil inside the print is moist.
Oh, yeah.
I think it had to have been made at most 3 hours before I got there. Because we're in the baking hot summer now.
True.
That thing should dry out fast as soon as the sun comes up.
So it was probably something that happened in the evening or early morning.
Early morning, I'm thinking, yeah. And this is how close we are to them.
You could have potentially had a bit of a startle while panning for gold.
Kevin, I could have been stuck in the middle of the river with this thing. with concrete walls on either side.
Yeah, as it disembowels you, hopefully not. Wow. Interesting. So, wow. I mean, it sounds like you've got enough material maybe to the last time you were on the podcast, we talked about, so folks listening, Kyle has a book he's written about Hibagon, which is available on Amazon. You can purchase. But it sounds like you're gathering enough material maybe to write a part 2 or a follow-up book to this, it seems like.
Yeah, I do have a plan. Okay, if you buy the book that I have out now, it's called Hibagon, Japanese Bigfoot. That is a survey of everything I could find on this subject up until I arrived on the scene.
Okay.
So it will give you all of the known history and mythology and legend of the Hibagon in Japan prior to my arrival. Now, since I got here, I've treated this as an active study. And my friends, my family and I, we have found so much more. And of course, we are also informed by the North American Sasquatch. Yes, I definitely have to write a second book, which carries forward the study that we've done.
And how many years now have you been researching this topic in Japan?
I got into it at the beginning of COVID.
Okay,
everything was locked down.
Yeah,
we were planning to go to Canada. We couldn't. That was canceled. Couldn't travel anywhere.
Yeah.
So I decided, well, I'm going to make the best of this lockdown, and I'm going to explore this area of Hiroshima, starting with the Hibagon, which I read about as a boy in my school library in Canada.
Oh, really? There was a book that had content about the Hibagon. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
When I was a boy, we had books about, supernatural and unidentified creatures. And I remember this Hibagon in Japan. Never really thought about it again until COVID. And then, well, I might as well be useful during the lockdown and look for Hibagon, see if there's anything to this. And immediately we found there was.
Wow. And again, it sounds like you've got a lot of great content for a follow-up book. Yeah. Wow. Well, Kyle, I don't want to keep you too much longer because I know it's late where you are. I'm an hour behind you, so I'm doing okay here. And what a conversation we've had. And I know the listeners are going to be very, very delighted to hear this. For those who are listening, you've already heard, everyone, that you can go to Amazon and you can find Kyle's book about the Hibagon there. I will put a link directly in the show notes to the book, so you can go and check that out, folks. If there are people who are interested, and I'm sure there are because this podcast has been growing, when last we spoke, maybe there were hundreds, but now there's thousands of people listening, which is very cool. How may they reach out to you if they're interested in getting in touch with you to find out more about this? Or maybe, again, if they're going to be coming, could they email you? What might that be like?
Sure, they can just email me, yeah.
Okay. So is it okay if I add your email to the show notes of the podcast?
Absolutely.
Okay, There we go. Perfect, guys. So go look below the podcast, and I'll also put like on where I share it on Instagram and different places. Kyle's email will be there if you want to reach out to him directly and find out about this, because I know that one thing I've been learning in recent months is that I actually put together a Google map of a lot of the locations of places I've talked about on the podcast. So I'm talking about everything from haunted houses or haunted hotels to, potentially haunted sites and things. And a lot of people were reaching out to me saying, since I've listened to your podcast, I went to Japan and I went to that place, or I checked out that place and I checked out that place, the kind of, I guess, legend tripping, as they call it. Right. So, people have been listening and coming to Japan. Maybe not that's their specific reason. They're coming there anyway, but then they decide to deviate and make some special trips. So maybe you guys out there listening, Kyle needs some more boots on the ground to help out here. Yeah. So that would be. If
anybody is serious, I don't want to take mockers and scoffers, but if you're serious about it, if you want to get close to the Hibagon, I can get you close.
That's interesting.
I can show you the evidence. If I'm free, I'll take you in there.
Fantastic. Well, you know what? I mean, the next time I'm in Japan, again, will be next year. We're hoping at some point, possibly next year, my family and I will be making the permanent return back to Japan. And if that is the case, definitely I need to look you up, and maybe myself and Philip can come down and go on a little expedition with you, because that'd be absolutely fascinating.
Okay, well, listen, this has been wonderful, but I have two more show ideas. Number one.
Yeah.
You got to come back to Japan. Come here.
Yeah.
And we'll do a live show on location.
Sure. Yeah.
In Hibagon territory.
That would be cool.
We'll be touching structures and commenting on them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's I've done a few of those already when I've gone back to Japan, and we've done some live ones with Philip Jackson. I've got great set of microphones right here, my DJI microphones, and that we can wear and go around and record on, and those are cool, and film and all that stuff, and that would be fantastic content. Okay, that would be too.
Number two, I will take you, Kevin.
Yeah,
I will take you to the blocked doorway of the lost and unsuspected tomb of the mother goddess of Japan.
Well, that would be interesting. Okay, wow.
I will take you to the very spot.
Cool. Fantastic. Well, let's hopefully I can make it down that way next year. There's a plan.
Okay.
All right. Well, Kyle, thanks so much for giving us your time. I really appreciate it. And we need to keep in touch, and please keep in touch with me and let me know if you see any more interesting things in the near future, evidence, strange, bizarre things, and also be safe out there. It's really bloody hot in Japan right now.
It is. Hey, thank you. I enjoyed this so much, and thank you to your listeners.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for listening to Supernatural Japan, and a big thank you to Todd Brink for coming back on for another episode. That was a fantastic conversation. If you liked our conversation, wherever you're listening to us, if it is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, please leave a comment, a review, and a 5-star rating. It really helps. If you leave a review or a comment, I will read them on a future episode of the podcast. And for you folks out there listening, if you would like to learn more about Hibagon, I'm putting a link in the show notes to Todd's book that he wrote all about Hibagon. Also, you can go back and listen to that first interview, and very interesting stuff. Absolutely. So check out his book, check out his YouTube channel where he goes into the field and shows evidence that he found. I'll put a link to that in the show notes as well. And of course, like we mentioned in the episode, if you actually want to, if you're serious about Hibagon, Bigfoot research, that kind of thing, and you want to reach out to Todd, his email will also be in the show notes, so you can reach out to him directly. So go and do that, please. Yeah, folks, go check out our Instagram at Supernatural Japan. Lots of reels and cool things over there, and the community continues to grow on the Instagram. So thank you for all of those who are over there enjoying the content. Of course, you can find us also on Facebook and me on X and Blue Sky and all those good places. Hey, there's been some cool things have just been uploaded to the members section over on Patreon. Excuse me, I've got frogs in my throat. Over in the member section there, since we last spoke, there are a few new episodes of the Japan Ghost Stories podcast, as well as the full video interview with folklorist, writer, translator Zach Davison, over an hour and 26 minutes of a great banter and goodness. That's just been uploaded to the member section over on Patreon as well. And there's constantly new things going up there as well. So check those out. There's other video interviews over there. Just a lot of great content. The link is in the show notes and over at supernaturaljapan.com. When you become a member, you really help me in my creative process. You help the podcast grow and everything surrounding it. So go on over there and you'll benefit. It's a win-win situation. That's it, guys. Oh yeah, of course. I need to mention that if you have I'm currently writing a book. A Supernatural Japan book. I'm in the process of collecting stories from amazing people from around the world. So if you, I want your story, if you have one. If you have ever had a strange, potentially supernatural, odd, eerie, creepy experience while living in Japan, visiting Japan, touring, traveling through, if something happened to your family member or something like that, I want to hear from you. Whether it was something while you were backpacking in the mountains, visiting a shrine, a temple, maybe you lived in a place that was kind of weird or rented an Airbnb that something strange happened inside. Let me know. I want to hear your stories. It might have just been a one-off and it was just a weird experience, a head scratcher, but I want to know. So please reach out to me. There's a contact form on supernaturaljapan.com. A few of you have already reached out to me that way. You can email me at supernaturaljapan@gmail.com or just DM me anywhere, like on Instagram, X, wherever it may be. Send me a DM. And I want to hear your story. I've got a lot already, but I would love more. All right, guys. Well, that's everyone. I'm Kevin O'Shea. I'm the host of the Supernatural Japan podcast, and I hope you really enjoyed this episode. I know I certainly enjoyed sitting down with Todd for another great conversation. And the next episode coming up, I will be sitting down with my friend, writer, researcher Philip Jackson, based in Kyoto, Japan. And we're going to share a lot of cool stuff with you as well, so you can expect that next week. All right, guys. Well, that's it for another episode of Supernatural Japan. Thank you so much for taking the time to download the podcast. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to it. If it wasn't for all of you amazing people, I wouldn't be doing this. So, wherever you are in the world, stay healthy and stay spooky.
I'm not giving up.
I am selling the building.
The final season of FX's The Bear.
The restaurant is flooded.
Everything's either going to be okay.
No, stop!
Or not.
We are outgunned and we are outmanned, but we have each other.
FX's The Bear, the final season. All episodes now streaming on Disney+.
Ouch. This knee is killing me, but I can't stop training. The marathon is in 2 weeks.
Let's get on ZocDoc and find a doctor to take a look at that for you.
Okay.
Here's a review. Dr. Craddock really takes his time.
No, I don't have time.
What about Dr. Charles? His patients say he can help find a quick fix, and he's in network.
Great, now we're talking. Book it.
Booked. 1 mile down, 19 to go.
Bring it on.
You've got options. Download the ZocDoc app today.